your soul gets to plan these things and put contracts and situations in your life, but then you have to be the one actually like living it and doing the work and feeling the pain. And I definitely have come to a place where I understand the relationships from, childhood to the suffering with romance and things as initiations into learning how to really choose yourself and love yourself. And so I have spent the majority of my life having codependent tendencies or being codependent. And once I started becoming conscious of these patterns and learning about psychology and, relating things to my childhood and seeing myself as a victim, blaming my parents for it, and my attachment styles and all these things, it's been a journey, but where I have evolved to see things now on my evolution is that I came here to learn how to love myself, to take care of myself, to know that I am worthy of love and unconditional support for myself, to be a sovereign being. And it was a skill I did not come into this lifetime having, hence why I am here to learn it at this Earth School. And so the conditions that I agreed to come here and incarnate into this family and these circumstances set up the perfect dynamics for me to be able to work on my mission to love myself. And what better way to be on a journey to discover how to love yourself than to incarnate into a family that maybe didn't love or see you perfectly. So that whole, spiritual lens really changed how I saw my parents, my childhood, my victim story, because it really became something that happened for me instead of to me, so that I could learn how to love myself. And I had this karmic pattern of this, codependency, abandoning myself, not knowing how to love myself. And it didn't just stop with my parents. I would then get into the same dynamic with romantic partners. And after my first romantic partner, I didn't quite understand the lesson. I had to do it 2 more times, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, 7 more times before I got off that merry-go-round of karmic loops and was finally able to untie that knot and free myself to the degree I am now of that pattern. And I'm not saying I'm, completely there with loving myself and sovereignty and all of that, but I'm definitely a heck of a lot farther than I was starting out this incarnation. But the point is, in order to learn and develop self-love, I had to be born into the family I had to date the men that I did so I could learn these lessons and understand how to choose myself, how to love myself, how to be sovereign. And again, I'm not fully there, but farther than I was. So when I don't know if you ever feel like a victim, like I did for many years, about relationships I was in and my parents and my childhood, and oh my gosh, all the giving I would do to all of these people and I wouldn't, get it in return, and not realizing that I was giving to all these people hoping to get love back from myself. And then one day it just clicked. I could just give the love to myself directly. It's almost like, taking a shortcut. Instead of like, I'm going to love you so that you will love me, and boom, 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 just boom, point blank, love yourself. Don't even have to deal with another party. And so that took me so long to start to realize why I was being codependent, and I was searching for love in all the wrong places. And I had to do that to realize where to finally go for love, to finally start sourcing it from myself, from within, from me, from God, and become more sovereign and love myself more. But how would I have ever figured that out if I didn't have parents that, may have let me down in ways, or romantic partners that may have taken advantage of my codependency, kindness, desperation, all of these things. And once I, hindsight's 2020, but once I began healing out of that and looking back, I saw it as like, I'm not a victim to these men, to this childhood, to these parents, to these whatever. I am learning a lesson, and I'm, here at this earth school, and all of this was planned upstairs for me so that I could return to myself and my truth and know who I am. Not only do I love myself, but I am love. Love is me. It runs through me. But it took me the longest time, and maybe, more merry-go-rounds on that loop than was necessary, maybe, but it eventually worked out, and I what is the saying? I understood the assignment, as the kids say. So yeah, it's really hard, and it's really painful, and there's, this victimhood has been such a theme in my life, and it was so hard not to see things that way and just feel so like high and dry and abandoned, and just not understanding. And it's like, your soul gets to plan these things and put contracts and situations in your life, but then you have to be the one actually like living it and doing the work and feeling the pain and all of that. So, it's not easy, but I do think if you feel like you have codependent tendencies, or you feel like you're a victim to your parents, maybe a new perspective is something, like I've mentioned. The absence of love taught you to love yourself, to seek that internally, to be that, to embody that, instead of yearning and searching and hoping all these other people are going to give it to you. Give it to yourself. Everything changed. Everything changed with my current partnership. Again, I'm not fully there. I'm aware, so you're halfway there, but have I fully embodied it all the time? Do I have codependent moments and things like that? Sure. The things I've done out of desperation and codependency is just absolutely crazy. The unavailable men in every capacity that I have chased, looking for love in all the wrong places. Those experiences, they really got me to where I am now, and I just have such an appreciation for the relationship I'm in. I promise you that the love and the validation that you are trying to seek through another person, just take all that energy and start giving it to yourself. Take that energy and give it to yourself. It's like the energy I have paid to learn these lessons. Like if I had given all of that energy to myself, oh my gosh, that I gave away hoping to get love in return, it's crazy. And I did an interview, a chat with my boyfriend, and we talked a lot about codependency, independence, interdependence, and just getting out of codependency and starting to love yourself like in an independent. Oh my gosh, like that's one thing. I mean, that was years I was working on that until I met my current partner. But then now, okay, so you can love yourself independently when you're alone and single, like that's one thing. And then when you get in a relationship and you have to maintain that sovereignty and become interdependent, then that's like a whole other other thing to learn. So yeah, it's a journey, and I'm in that sector of like, oh my gosh, interdependence. I can tell you, independence and being single, it is, a lot easier in ways. I didn't realize how hard it would be to like hold on to everything I had. I didn't realize how hard it would be to like hold on to that self-focus and love and all of that, and that sovereignty once you get into a relationship. It's definitely like a whole new level, but worth it and just so beautiful. In my opinion, you need to learn how to love yourself and be alone and have that connection with yourself and be able to source, love and all the things on your own before you can do it in a relationship. In my opinion, I think they say like, if you don't love yourself, then you can't love somebody else. But now, I mean, easy to say now that I've like had to go through all the experiences and lessons. It's like in hindsight, the codependency and the men I was chasing and all the BS, it's like that was like doing math, like longhand, writing out your work on a piece of paper. Just loving yourself is like having a calculator, it's just like, what was I even thinking? But again, I had to go through these lessons, these initiations, these experiences. And I think it's really easy to maybe look back and your own relationships or observing other people where they say, you just get into the same relationship with a different face. And it's like, that's these karmic loops just repeating itself, giving you opportunity after opportunity to untie the knot and do things differently. So if you are in a codependent loop and you're trying to untie that karma, if you are past that and this helps give you some clarity, if you have some wisdom and insights from your experience, I mean, this is just, my human experience, my journey. Nothing is right or wrong. We're all just here experiencing and learning and sharing and being vulnerable. But I definitely have come to a place where I understand the relationships from, childhood to the suffering with romance and things as initiations into learning how to really choose yourself and love yourself. And, again, we're here, we're at Earth School, we're experiencing all the contrasts, we are learning all the things. Not gonna be easy, but worth it, right? All right. I'm gonna head off to bed. I hope you have a good one. Thanks for watching.